Well, we've got huge and exciting news from Norwegian Cruise Line as we have a brand new ship finally getting announced and named. So let's jump straight into things and let's go ahead and start talking about this brand new ship from Norwegian Cruise Line. What's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon. If you like cruise news, cruise vlogs, and ship tours, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. So yes, the big news, the big talk of the day is Norwegian Aqua. Norwegian Aqua is the third ship of the Prima class. Really neat thing that they're starting to do, and I think is because they probably realized that the Prima class was maybe a little too small, is that the third and fourth ship, so Aqua and then Prima 4, are going to be 10% larger than their previous sister ships, Norwegian Prima and Viva. Norwegian Cruise Line did take delivery of Norwegian Prima back in 2022, and she sailed from New York, Port Canaveral, New York, I already said New York, Galveston briefly. She's been all over the place. She's been doing some really incredible itineraries lately, ever since she launched. And she's only been out for maybe a little over a year, and she's been some really amazing places already. So they seem to be very adventurous when it comes to Norwegian Prima. Norwegian took delivery of Norwegian Viva, the second ship in this class, earlier this year in 2023. They kind of did that quietly. For some weird reason, to me at least, when they took delivery of Viva, and then we really never heard anything else about the ship. And I know the ship is supposed to come over to the United States. She's been over in Europe ever since delivery, doing her summer season over there. But it's just very weird to me that they really almost just dismissed the ship as soon as it came in. It just really hasn't been in the news at all. There's really been nothing going around or circling, no hype about the ship, which is very weird for a new ship. Usually when a brand new ship from a cruise line comes out, it's like a big deal. And of course it is. Viva was a huge deal for Norwegian Cruise Line. It just, to me at least, I didn't really see a whole lot going on with the ship, especially after the delivery. Really haven't heard anything about it. Haven't even seen very many pictures of the ship, really. But Norwegian Viva is coming over to the United States within the next month. She's going to do a couple preview and media sailings out of Miami. And then she's going to make her way down to her official home port of San Juan, Puerto Rico. She'll be doing 7-night Southern Caribbean itineraries out of San Juan, which will be really neat. Sailing out of San Juan on Southern Caribbean cruises is a very cool experience. I did do that once on Carnival many years ago. That was amazing. Some of the islands that you get to go to down there, just because of time constraints, of course. You can't normally get down there on a typical 7-day cruise out of Florida. But the areas that you can get to and the islands that you can get to while sailing out of the Southern Caribbean port in the first place, or I guess Middle Caribbean port, you get a really big advantage when you get to go to different places like Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Kitts. You can get down to St. Kitts from Florida, and I think some of the Oasis class do that with Royal Caribbean, but you don't really get many other ports. It's like St. Thomas, St. Kitts, and Coco Cay sometimes. But you usually get a lot more port stops, usually 5, sometimes even 6. I've even seen itineraries down there that do all 7 days. There's not even a sea day. But anyways, so Viva and Prima are out. Really good ships. And now we have Norwegian Aqua. Norwegian Aqua is the third ship in this class. She's going to be about 156,000 tons, or about the mid-150s range, which I personally think is a great size. That's, in my opinion, it's one of the sweet spots in the cruise industry. Is anything between about 150 to 180,000 tons. That is a perfect size ship, in my opinion. Now, I am also well aware that my favorite class of ships are the Oasis class, which is significantly larger than that. But at the same time, I do think that 150 to 180 is really a good sweet spot. It's a very good in-between. It's not too big, but it's not too small. It gives you right about the best amount of space in order to put a lot of things in there, a lot of activities, and just make the ship really nice with a lot to do on board. Lots of restaurants, lots of activities, just really all around. You can do a lot with that size of a ship. I think one of the downsides to the Prima and the Viva is that them being down towards the low 140s in size as far as their tonnage, That did limit a lot of the space, and it seems like they tried to take a lot from the Norwegian Encore, the newest ship before the Prima, and still their largest. They took all of that and smashed it into a smaller ship to where I've never sailed on Prima, so I really don't have too much of an opinion, or I can't really say too much, but from what I've heard from people that have sailed on the ship, they do say it does feel cramped in some areas. I don't know firsthand. You guys can let me know down in the comments. I do still hear really, really good things about those two ships, Prima and Viva. So I do like the size that we are getting a little bit bigger with Norwegian Aqua. Also 3,500 passengers, about 3,600 passengers. And the ship will be finished in 2025. Now the big change here with Norwegian Aqua is there is no more go-karts. You heard that. The big attraction here on Norwegian Cruise Line over the last 5 to 6, 7 years or so, ever since the Norwegian Joy in 2017, the big deal has always been the go-karts. Personally, I love them. They're amazing. I love go-karts. I love cars. I love racing. It's something I really feel it's something I really enjoy doing, and it's so much fun. But having experience around go-karts and things like that from my work experience, when I was in early college, I worked at a go-kart track and a racetrack. I know how expensive it can be to maintain those things. And just the track in general can be hard. And of course, tires. I'm not too familiar with electric go-karts, but go-karts in general are very hard to maintain. They can get very, very expensive. So I was very surprised in the first place that was a concept that made it over from the Breakaway Plus ships over to the Prima class. Now, this is, of course, received very well. It's a very popular attraction on all of the ships that have it, and it is paid for to where you have to pay, I believe it's around $15 per session. So it's not like they're not making money off of these go-karts, which are very expensive to maintain. It's good that they are, but it's also unfortunate that they are, because that's one big activity that you now have to pay for on the ship. But with that, I won't go too far into detail or just ramble on about that. But taking the place of the go-kart track, we're getting a huge Aqua Park. Fitting with the name, isn't it? Norwegian Aqua is getting a giant Aqua Park. Now, it does look by the renderings here that I see, they are going to keep those two giant slides that are on the sides of the ship that go down from the pool deck or where the Aqua Park is, and they're going to go down to the waterfront area, that outdoor area down on deck. I'm going to assume it's deck 8. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at the deck plans right now. But those giant slides are going to be found on Norwegian Aqua as well. And then it looks like there's going to be huge water slides. And again, the Aqua Park looks really cool. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of other things that are going to be carried over from the Prima and the Viva in the past, but that's one of the big notable changes. Now, where is Aqua going to be sailing from? It looks like she might be on a wide variety of things. As we can see here, it says Norwegian Aqua destinations: Caribbean, Bermuda, Northern Europe, Bahamas, Canada, and New England. That in my head says New York. But, of course, it now looks like she's going to be sailing from Port Canaveral, which is super exciting for me because those who are very regular here on the channel know that I go out to Port Canaveral just about every weekend to watch the ships leave. That includes Norwegian Prima. I used to go and watch her almost every weekend whenever she was here during the 2022 and 2023 season for Port Canaveral. Of course, we're going to be seeing the Norwegian Epic, the Escape. I'm very excited to see that Port Canaveral was randomly thrown into this list. Don't know how long she's going to be here. It doesn't look like she will be here too long, maybe about 2, maybe 3 months. But I'm not complaining because I will get to see the ship firsthand in person. And wow, does she look beautiful off of this rendering. I'm very excited to see this ship in person. I'm still not the biggest fan of the the paint on the artwork of the ship going up the superstructure of the ship. I kind of like it going on the bow and going on the way back. But I do like this artwork on the ship. It's been a while since I've really enjoyed the artwork and actually liked the artwork that's been on a Norwegian ship. Encore's never really been a huge fan of it. Now when the ship came out, it definitely looks much better in person, and I do like it. Prima and Viva just seem very plain. One's blue, one's purple, same design. That's one of the things that irks me about that. But this, it's just very colorful. It's very exotic looking. It looks amazing, and it really fits. Honestly, by looking at the ship, I thought it was going to go to Miami. Before I looked where it says destinations down below, I thought it was going to go to Miami. It gives me vibes of the Norwegian Getaway. Very colorful, very bright colors. It gives me tropical vibes. So I'm very excited to see how this ship turns out. I'm glad to see that she's going to be a little bit bigger. And with her being bigger, Prima 4, so her sister ship, is going to be 10% bigger as well. So both Aqua and Prima 4 are going to be 157,000 tons. And then Primas 5 and 6 are going to be even larger, at 20% larger than the Prima, so at about 172,000 tons. So each pair of ships are going to get larger than the other. And at 172,000 tons, Primas 5 and 6 are going to be the largest ships in the fleet, even larger than Norwegian Encore. So that's going to be super, super exciting. I'm very hyped to see this ship come here into Port Canaveral, if that still stays true. Let me know what your thoughts are on Norwegian Aqua down in the comments below. I'm very excited to see her. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.